Good afternoon and congratulations. We finally made it. Yeah. So my name is Baldvin Þormóðsson, and I will not be asking you to pronounce that yourselves. And I can't really believe that I'm standing here today, because I come from Iceland, a nation of only 300,000 people, and making the leap from such a tiny community to the metropolis of London, and I'll be standing here in the Royal Festival Hall giving a speech, is humbling. And a lot of work has been done for the past 3 years by every single student here. A lot of drinking as well, just so you parents don't get too proud, because you have no idea what's been going on. And I'll admit something myself. When I first applied for LCC, I didn't know it was an art school. I actually thought it was a business school. So you can imagine the shock when walking through the cigarette smoke at LCC and the odd joint, not naming any names. On the behalf of the class of 2017, I'd still like to give our very best thanks to the university and its amazing faculty, every single one of the brilliant tutors and the professors. Give them a round of applause. And personally, I'd like to thank Juan Pablo and the cafe for supplying me with some serious South American coffee for the past 3 years. Thank you, yeah. And of course, I think we should all thank Lucy, the lunch lady, for teaching us to never leave our plates in the canteen table. And maybe most importantly, Katie in the dark room and her entire bar staff, where we've celebrated every hand-in, every end of term, every end of month, every end of week, and every end of day for the past 3 years. And of course, I'd like to thank personally all my fellow students for making these last 3 years absolutely unforgettable. Thank you, really. But that being said, there's one person that stands out. And I tell you, I tried to sit down and write down what to say about her so many times this week. I'm sorry, but I couldn't. Because she's not a person that you can just describe. She's someone you had to meet. An absolute force of nature, Jo Hodges, which gave her last 2 goodbyes on Tuesday. Jo and I were very close, and I'm not lying when I say that she was probably the most amazing person I've ever met. But she was absolutely mad. But somehow she brought out the best in myself and in every single student that had the honor of having her as a teacher. And I can say with full confidence that she made me the man that stands before you today. She taught me to go crazy, push boundaries, and as she would put it, not give a fuck what other people thought. And there's an Icelandic hymn that Jo always used to ask me to sing for her when she found me drunk in the bar. It was written 800 years ago by a man on his deathbed, from which he's reaching out to the himnasmiður, which means the heaven's maker, to have mercy on him. And if you don't mind, if I could sing it for you now for her. Heyr himnasmiður, hver skáldið biður, kom í mjúk til mín miskunnin þín, því heit ég á þig, þú hefur skapað mig. Ég þrællinn þinn, þú drottinn minn. Thank you, Jo. Thank you. And I hope Joe would agree with me in saying that it's an incredible time to be entering the world. We started our education in 2014. Today, Britain has left the European Union and Donald Trump is the leader of the free world. We're graduating, we're not going back to the classroom, so we're going to have to deal with it. But to explain why I think it's a great time to be entering the world, I want to tell you just a really short story of myself. Because when I was 8 years old, I wrote a letter to the mayor of Reykjavik. It's a very dark city during the winter, and at 7 a.m. it's pitch black. And on my path to school, there were very few lampposts, and I was terrified of the dark, and I still am. So the 8-year-old me wrote the letter, and a new lamppost was set up. And that may come across as a very silly and simple story, but it means so much more to me. Because we are graduating in the midst of a global crisis. Because there's anger, there's hate, and there's violence. And it's now more than ever that the world needs us. The world needs creativity. Creative minds to come up with solutions, to come up with ideas, great ideas to change the world. And it wasn't until I officially started my studies at LCC, the school I thought it was a business school, that I realized what was being done to me, to my mind. Because we were being prepared. We were being groomed to produce ideas. And not just any ideas, but the absolutely most fantastic stuff we could come up with. And I was pushed, critiqued, ripped apart, and after sewing myself up, ripped apart again. And we were not taught through textbooks or theories. We were taught through independence and free thought, unleashing our inner artists and problem solvers. I walked into LCC thinking that I knew everything, but boy was I wrong. And I will never stop being grateful to the university for teaching me that. Going to university, and especially this one, is a privilege that not everybody gets to experience, and please don't take it for granted. The world is dark and it needs more lampposts, but we have to write the letters. Let's make a difference, is what Joe would have wanted. Thank you.